Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're tackling a huge question. How do you actually organize a company for AI? We're going to dive into how to get from just playing around with scattered experiments to building a real powerful engine for growth. So, to really get our heads around this, let's start with a fantastic analogy. Think about electricity 100 years ago. It wasn't some simple plug-and-play tool. To get any real value, you had to completely rethink the factory. Well, AI is the same thing. If you don't change the organization around it, the tech itself is basically useless. And what's at stake here? Well, the prize for getting this right is just huge. According to McKinsey, we're looking at a potential 16% boost to cumulative GDP by 2030. This isn't just about tweaking things for a little more efficiency. We're talking about a massive economic shift. The pressure is definitely on.
Okay, but if the prize is so big, why isn't everyone already there? Well, it's not that easy. Let's start with the common frustrations, the things that go wrong when companies try to move from small AI pilots to something real.
Does any of this look familiar? It's a state I like to call AI chaos. You've got different departments basically reinventing the wheel. You have all these promising proofs of concept that just die on the vine. And that incredibly rare AI talent, it's spread so thin that nobody can make a real impact. This is the wall that so many companies hit. So what gives? Why is AI so different? I mean, why can't we just dust off the playbook we used for other big tech shifts? Well, the answer really gets down to the fundamental nature of the technology itself. It really boils down to a few unique challenges. First off, with AI, the data is the software. They're totally inseparable. And maintenance isn't about fixing bugs. It's about constantly retraining the models. It also forces this deep, sometimes messy collaboration between your tech people and your business experts. And the talent? It's a whole different ballgame. Your standard IT management playbook, it just wasn't built for this world.
Right. So you can't tackle these brand new problems with the same old dusty playbook. It's just not going to work. To succeed, you need a new way of thinking, and it's all built on 3 core principles.
Okay, principle number 1, and this is a biggie. It's a huge mental shift. You have to start treating AI as a product, not a project. See, a project has a start and an end, but an AI model is never done. It's a living, breathing thing that needs a dedicated team to maintain it, retrain it, and evolve it forever. The old model of building something and then handing it off, it just doesn't work. All that crucial knowledge gets lost. All right, principle number 2 gets right into the org chart itself. And this is where so many companies stumble because the temptation is to swing way too far to one extreme or the other. The real secret sauce is finding that perfect balance between central control and letting people on the ground own their work. And you can see the 2 big traps so clearly here, right? Go fully centralized and you get this isolated team of techies in a back room building stuff that has no real connection to the business. Go fully decentralized and boom, you're right back in that AI chaos we talked about with everyone doing their own thing. Yeah, neither of those works. And that brings us to the final and maybe the most critical principle. This has to be driven from the very top. This cannot be just an IT initiative. The entire C-suite needs to get it, and they need to be visibly, powerfully committed to making it happen. I mean, listen to this quote from a CIO at a major car company. He said AI is the most important transformation in the history of their company. That's not just another item on the to-do list. That's the kind of top-level commitment we're talking about. Okay, so we've got the principles down, but how do you actually do this? How do you put it all into practice? Well, for a lot of the top companies, the answer is to build something called an AI Center of Excellence. So the Center of Excellence, or COE for short, is basically the organizational engine that makes this whole hybrid model work. The best way to think about it is a hub and spoke model. The COE is the central hub. That's where all the deep expertise lives. And it supports the spokes, which are all the different business units out in the field, the ones who actually know the customer problems.
But, this immediately brings up a super important question. If this team is the central engine, who should own it? Where does this powerful new team actually live on the org chart?
And honestly, there's no one-size-fits-all answer here. It really depends on your company's strategy. If AI is a deep, company-wide transformation, maybe the CEO needs to own it. If it's all about new products, maybe it's the CTO. If it's about making your internal operations better, maybe the COO. The trick is to align the leadership with your actual AI goals. But check this out.
There was this fascinating study from MIT Sloan and BCG, and it found something that really makes you think. Companies are twice as likely to actually get value from AI when the responsibility for it is placed outside the traditional CIO's department. The big takeaway here seems to be a real risk that if AI lives inside IT, it just gets treated like another tech project, not the massive business transformation it really is.
So we have this COE model. We've talked about who might lead it, but what does this team actually, do all day? It's a whole lot more than just writing code.
Well, you can really break down their work into 3 main buckets. Number 1, they help figure out the strategy. What should we even be working on? Number 2, they get their hands dirty building some of the core AI solutions. And number 3, and honestly this might be the most important one, they're there to enable the entire organization to succeed with AI.
And that enabling piece, it's absolutely massive. We're talking about finding and keeping talent, building a culture where it's okay to experiment, telling success stories, building the right tools and infrastructure, the whole shebang. They're not just building a few models, they're the architects of the company's entire AI future.
Okay, so to see how this all clicks together in the real world, let's take a look at how some of the big players, the frontrunners, are organizing themselves for AI.
Take Amazon. They use this brilliant model they call the flywheel. The different teams across the company own their AI products, but they share all their breakthroughs and their knowledge through a central unit. So an innovation in logistics can suddenly speed up development for the Alexa team, creating this incredible compounding effect that just gets faster and faster.
Uber's approach is a bit different, but just as powerful. It's all about what they call the democratization of machine learning. Basically, they have a central team that builds these amazing general-purpose platforms and tools, and that empowers hundreds of smaller product teams all across the company, whether it's for Uber Eats or estimating your arrival time, to build and roll out their own AI solutions fast.
And that really brings us to the final critical question for you to think about. In this day and age, pretty much every company has data. That's the fuel. But having fuel in the tank is totally useless if you don't have the right kind of organizational engine to turn that fuel into power and speed and real value.